I'm going to be looking at what is possibly sustainability's greatest challenge, what to do with materials that simply can't be recycled, such as microplastics, which so often end up in our oceans. We're here with Dr. Korda Helge Carstensen from the research foundation SINTEF. What are microplastics and how has this problem come about?
We started to produce plastic 70 years ago, back in the 1950s. And since then we have been producing billions of tons. When it is left into the nature, it breaks down into smaller pieces. It is not degrading, easily. It's a persistent material, so it takes hundreds, maybe thousands of years to degrade. And that means also that it will accumulate. Sooner or later it ends up in the sea, in the ocean. That's the end station. And to clean up microplastic in the sea is almost incredible difficult, and not to talk about costly.
What is the overall plastic situation in the world right now based on your research?
We have still a big problem left, and that is all the accumulated plastic waste, more than 5 billion tons in dump sites around the world. It will take a long time, but it will be a continuous source of microplastic to our oceans in the foreseeable future. Up to now, less than 10% of all the plastic waste has been recycled. Around 40% is single-use plastic. We have extended producer responsibility systems, which are emerging in several countries, where they give the responsibility to the producers and the brand owners. So gradually it is gaining a momentum. But as of now, I wouldn't say that we see any bright solution in the future. Basically also because we are left with the billions of tons of plastic waste which are there already and which needs to be cleaned up.
This issue has reached crisis levels in many developing countries around the world due to limited public funding, poor infrastructure, and deep-rooted social and economic challenges. Take the metropolitan area of the Valley of Mexico, for example, home to over 22 million people. Within it, Mexico City alone, with 9 million residents, produces around 13,000 tons of municipal solid waste per day. And as the population grows, waste management, especially of non-recyclable flexible plastics, becomes increasingly difficult to manage. However, hope lies in initiatives from non-profit organisations like Geocycle, which partners with major FMCG companies to promote extended producer responsibility. They collaborate with Geocycle to build recycling infrastructure and engage local communities to collect and deliver waste, including flexible plastics, to Geocycle for further processing. To find out more about this, I'm connecting with Adrian from Geocycle. Hi Adrian, thank you so much for making the time to be with us today. What do Geocycle do?
Geocycle is an NGO, a non-profit, and we are focused on designing and developing strategies and projects to tackle plastic pollution.
Can you explain what flexible plastics is and why it's different to other types of plastics?
I'm going to call it FPPs, flexible plastic packagings. FPPs are a group of plastics and a group of waste that, according to their characteristics, the way that they are collected, sorted, recycled, processed, we decided to group on one category. Its main characteristic is that they do not have a rigid constitution or a shape.
What does your partnership with Geocycle look like?
In Mexico, at this moment, we do not have conditions to collect, sort, and recycling FPPs. So the collaboration with Geocycle has been a solution to tackle the pollution problem caused by this kind of waste.
As we saw in the previous episode, cement production is utilising non-recyclable waste as alternative resources. Here, the flexible, non-recyclable plastics, which would otherwise go to landfill, are entering the cement kiln as an alternative fuel to replace carbon-intensive fossil fuels such as pet coal. Can you explain why the cement industry can provide a solution to the microplastics problem?
We have conducted a regional project in Asia where we have looked into the possibility to mobilize the cement industry, and they are present everywhere. Back again to the original plastic, it's fossil fuel based, like similar to coal, same heat content, calorific value, and we have now conducted more than 20 pilots in 8 countries, and we are not able to see any influence on harmful emissions on the use or replacement of some of the coal with plastic waste. If they can reduce their coal consumption and their raw material consumption by taking a waste, which is a big problem, it will be a win-win situation.
By adhering to the waste management hierarchy, companies like Geocycle recycle what they can and give a second life to non-recyclable materials that would otherwise have ended up in an incinerator and eventually in landfill. In creating these alternative materials which can be used in the production of cement, it's possible to drastically reduce our consumption of traditional fossil fuels and natural raw materials. Thank you for coming on this journey with me, and let's make the future a more sustainable one.